thing. Have you ever felt like you were walking into darkness? PARASHAT Bio. This week's Torah portion begins with a phrase that sent shivers down my spine. Bio el paro, come to Pharaoh. Not let's go, but bio come. It's an invitation. The rabbis explain this means God was saying, Moshe, you are not walking into this darkness alone. Come with me. I am already there. This is a powerful lesson. Faith isn't always tested during the big, dramatic miracles. Sometimes the real test comes when the darkness feels thick, confusing, and deeply personal. It's when you feel like you're facing your own Pharaoh, your own seemingly impossible obstacle. And you have to decide if you'll believe that God is already there, waiting for you in the heart of the struggle. I want to share this teaching as a story, because the Torah itself is a story, one that constantly tests our faith. There was a time, not too long ago, when my own faith was tested to its core. Doors that I thought would open slammed shut. Answers I prayed for were delayed, met with silence. It felt like my life was frozen, just like ancient Egypt. Nothing was moving forward. I prayed, I waited, I begged, and still the darkness remained. It was in that very moment of spiritual paralysis that PARASHAT found me, the Zohar. Our book of mystical wisdom teaches that Egypt, or Mitzrayim in Hebrew, isn't just a geographical location. It's a state of being. The word itself comes from the root sar, which means narrow or constricted. Faith is tested when the soul feels trapped. When your spirit is in Mitzrayim, you feel like you're in a narrow place with no way out. And that's exactly where I was. Let's talk about the 9th plague. The plague of darkness. This wasn't just a power outage. The Midrash, our collection of rabbinic stories, describes it as a thick, tangible darkness. It was so dense that the Egyptians couldn't even move. They were literally frozen in place. But here's the key detail. The Israelites had light in their dwellings. Shabbat philosophy explains that this was more than physical light. It was a spiritual light. The deadness was the inability to perceive God's presence. So here is the real test of that plague, and the test for us today. He says, Hachodesh hazeh lachem. This month shall be for you the head of months. We are commanded to sanctify the new moon, to create our own calendar. The great commentators like Rashi and the sages of the Mishnah and Talmud all ask the same question. Why is time the very first commandment? Of all the things God could have commanded a nation on the brink of freedom, why start with a calendar? The answer is profound. Slaves do not own their time. Their masters do. But free people control their own time. Sometimes we are full and bright. Other times we are barely a sliver in the night sky. But we are never completely destroyed. We always return. Faith is tested most when you feel diminished, when you feel like you're waning. God commands the Israelites to take a lamb, the Pasah's offering. The Gemara teaches a powerful principle. Mitzvot, our divine commandments, protect us in ways that fear cannot. You act, and courage follows. This is where my own personal test reached its peak. I had to act before the answers came. When the men had given up, the women did not. They didn't stop believing that redemption was possible. They kept having children. They guarded their family's identity and traditions with fierce love. Faith survives in continuity. It survives in the small, quiet acts of obedience and hope. That was my turning point. In my own darkness, I realized I couldn't wait for a miracle. I had to be the miracle. I had to choose to continue my own traditions, to light my own candles, to nurture hope in my own home. Even when I felt completely unseen and my efforts felt futile, I had to be one of the righteous women. So, you might be asking, did I win or lose my test of faith? Did the doors finally open? Did I get the answers I was praying for? Well, not in the way I expected. I didn't win by getting an immediate, spectacular rescue. I won because I didn't abandon the path. I won because I kept walking in the dark. PARASHAT Bow's message is for all of us, for every generation. Light exists, even when the world around you cannot see it. Time belongs to you, to us, when we choose to make it holy. And faith is the action you take before you have all the answers. I passed my test. Not because I saw the sea split, but because I stayed. I chose to believe in the dawn while it was still night. Even in darkness, choose light. Even in silence, choose faith. Thanks for watching.